You and I, right now, are living out the next act of this unfolding story. Satan has an object, and it's what God loves. And what does God love? Sent his Son to die for. People. God loves people. And in creating man, God gave Satan an object upon whom he'd be free to project all this hostility. And when all the sufferings and the agonies which have flowed from that moment, let there be light, leads us to that ultimate question. Why didn't God nip it in the bud? Why didn't he cut it off right there? Why let it roll and create all this pain and suffering over time and through the centuries? You see, because if you're like me, you can't look at the Holocaust in Nazi Germany, or look at the genocide in Rwanda, or look into the eyes of 8 to 10-year-old girls who are being sexually trafficked, or a myriad of other senseless evils throughout history, and not, if you're a thinking person, ask this question about good and evil. And here's the other thing. You're also not going to very easily get your arms around the answer. The reason that God didn't nip it in the bud is you. The reason God didn't immediately deal with evil was you. And it's hard to say, me? Well, yes, you. You are the reason he didn't nuke Satan from the get-go with a simple word from his mighty mouth. That's all it took. He could have said, ugh, and it's done. Satan's gone. It's not that he didn't feel like doing it, or was sympathetic toward, a former employee. It's because there was a larger consideration. There was an X factor, and that X factor was his future sons. You see, in this time between one eternity and the coming eternity is us. And if God had obliterated Satan in that moment, he could have never created another being as magnificent, able to be seated with God, again with him, possessing a will to worship, but never a will to rebel, and that being is you. Now, if you're hearing me right now and you're thinking like I'm thinking, I might go, okay, and God is permitting evil limited success, so that out of this age between forevers, comes sons who are able to share his glory, but never will attach to that same glory. The Bible teaches that God's sons will rule with God from a position higher than that of angels. They will have prominence and dignity exceeding Lucifer's. They will hold powers higher than he ever had. They will hold prerogatives and responsibilities higher than his. And they will never ponder rebellion.